guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a tag adjacent video. So I was watching Angelique Nyquist per usual, and she did a video, 12 palettes that she still wants, 12 palettes that are still on her wish list. Something like that. And she said she had seen Amy Loves Makeup do it, and I want to say Amy Loves Makeup got it from Andrea Malatiano. I will link everything down below, but I thought that was so fun because there are definitely some palettes that are still on my wish list, so I wanted to do this video as well. And I was thinking about it and I thought, have I done this before? It sounded really familiar as I started to think about the palettes that I would put on that wish list. So I looked back through my videos, and I had done a video like this in October. Every other Sunday, I do new makeup releases videos, and I did a video, are they still on my wish list? So I pulled palettes that have been on my wish list through the times that I had filmed those new makeup releases videos and talked about the ones that I still wanted. So some of them might be the same today, some of them might be different, but I am going to be sharing 12 palettes that I still want. Before we get into that, I did film this look today. It is with the new Looksy and Bloom collection. I will link it up here in the iCards if you want to check that video out, but I am loving those shadows. My spring giveaway is also going on right now, coming to a close soon, so check that out as well. It'll be iCards, description box, all that jazz. So the first palette that is still on my wish list that I've actually purchased is the Galaminatrix Sandra Rose palette. I don't know if it's arrived by the time that this video goes up. I'm doing a little bit of pre-filming, but as of now, which is like the third week in March, it is still not here. I ordered it in December, and I know it's coming from Australia. I know that shipping there takes longer, but it's been stuck in Chicago for a while. I want to say it got mailed in March, and it's been stuck in the Chicago airport for a while. I don't know when they're going to let it out. I know we've got bigger things to worry about than makeup right now, but I am not going to have this is not going to be Corona Nation over here. We're just talking about makeup, fun and lighthearted, and I still want that palette. I oohed and awed over that palette from the minute that it was released. I wanted it. It took me almost a year to decide that I was going to spend the money on it because it is a more expensive palette, and obviously shipping from Australia is more expensive. So I finally bit the bullet and thought, if I've been wanting it for that long, I'm going to buy it. The color story is so beautiful. I mean, it just embodies what I love in eyeshadow. And from what I hear, the formula is beautiful too. But I will have to let you know at some point in my life if I agree. So yeah, the Sandra Rose palette still on the wish list. The next palettes that are still on the wish list are the ABH Mini Norvina palette. So I have got the volume 1. So here's what the volume 1 palette looks like. They came out with the large ones, and as I was looking at all the large ones, I thought those would be perfect if they just pulled out all of those really colorful shadows and put them into small palettes, because I love the ABH formula. I think I have 7 of their original size palettes, and then they did create little mini palettes from all those colorful shades. So those have also been on my wish list since they launched. I am waiting for them to come to Ulta so I can use a coupon with them and get the points for them, because I don't really need them necessarily, that I would just go out and get them on their own for the price that they are, but they are definitely still on my wish list. Third, I don't know if did that other one count as 1 or 2? We'll see at the end if it counted as 1 or 2. Third is another 2 palettes. These are the Kaleidos Makeup Futurism 4 and 5, the neon and the electric turquoise palettes. These I have wanted since they released. They are the most beautiful color stories. I mean, those turquoises with that pop of orange is so amazing, and I almost picked these up. They had a sale on the whole box set. I don't remember how many was in it. Almost got them, but there are so many things that I'm purchasing this month that I ended up not picking it up. But they are definitely still on my wish list. Kaleidos Makeup has been on my wish list for the second year now to try, and I still haven't picked anything up for them. These might be the palettes still that I end up picking up and trying, or if they come out with something else this year that is just as intriguing to me. But oh my goodness, that I just look at that orange and turquoise teal palette and I am so drawn in. And then you've got that little bit of brown there to deepen it up. And I probably don't need that neon one because I do have probably those colors in my collection, but it's so gorgeous. Next, we've got the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette. This is another one that I've wanted since the moment that it released. Well, actually, probably all of these I've wanted from the moment they released. But this one I've had in my cart at Ulta since it came to Ulta, and I finally was going to purchase it. I had a bunch of rewards points to redeem and a 20% off coupon, and then it was sold out. Sad. And this one is one that sells out a lot at Ulta, so I probably just should go and get it. And this one would go so good with that Menagerie Cosmetics palette that I'm getting. Maybe I already got by the time this is up, the Pastel Pup one. And I feel like you could do a lot of really pretty like monochromatic or almost monochromatic looks with the different tones that you would have between the two palettes. I mean, this palette will always have my heart. I really feel like I should probably just pick it up. I think we're at 4, possibly 6. The next one is from Rakuten Cosmetics. And this one, had I found Rakuten Cosmetics when this palette released, I probably would have picked it up. But I didn't find this brand until this palette was already a little bit old. And I kind of feel like if I'm reviewing something from a brand, I want it to be newer so people actually want to see it, which I'm still going to review the Sandra Rose palette when it gets here, even though it's going to be a year old by the time. Yeah, I'm still going to do a video on that because it is so beautiful and I've waited my whole life for it to get here. But I just think their shadows look so pretty, and this one is a little bit more toned down and muted, but it's toned down and muted colors. It's got a really good variety of mattes and shimmers, a good variety of different tone ranges in there. And I just think this palette is so beautiful, and it's still on my wish list. I am really hoping that they release something this year that I really want to pick up because I do really want to try that brand. The next one that's on my wish list is the Dragon Child palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. I cannot still get this palette, but it is always going to be, it's like the one that got away. And I didn't find out about Menagerie Cosmetics until this palette was already pretty old. I think the first palette I saw from them was the Pharaoh palette, like re-release, where they revamped it and changed some of those colors in it. So I will be trying their formula out with the Pastel Pup palette, but boy, this palette is so pretty. You've got different shade tones of those green, blues, and purples, and then you've got a little pop of the yellow and the red, and then you've got a shade to deepen it up. I just think it's so pretty. So when I'm filming this, the Pastel Pup palette hasn't released yet. So I was putting some single shadows in there of colors that I've wanted from different palettes so that I could get free shipping, because you have to have a $100 order from, is it 100? 75. You have to have a $75 order from Menagerie Cosmetics to get free shipping in the US. So I was gonna pop a couple of more shades in there that I wanted to try, and I really want that shade Dragon Child. It's like that sea foamy green shade in this palette, but that is sold out, and a lot of these other shades are also sold out already on the website. So this palette is definitely like out the door, no more, and I'm so sad. This will always be the palette that got away from me. And that's kind of why I purchased the Sandra Rose palette, because I thought that's going to end up being a palette that gets away that I'm always going to regret that I didn't purchase. Now I've purchased it and I still don't have it. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding, not kidding. Next is the Lilac You A Lot palette. So the reason for this, there's a couple reasons for this. First of all, I love purple shadows, and I don't know that I absolutely need to have this palette in my collection, but people rave about this palette, about the colors in it, and I'll show you another reason. And this is the other reason I need it in my collection. Do you see that? There's clearly a color missing in here. I typically don't have a collectionist, that's not the word for it, kind of personality when it comes to makeup. I usually buy things that I really, really want, which I have really wanted this for a long time. I just don't really think I need it. but this is just so incomplete right now, and it bugs me a little bit. So it is in my cart at ColourPop. As soon as there's a site-wide sale, I will be purchasing it. I've got a couple of gel liners I need to replace from there, and I'm sure there'll be something else that I need to pick up. So that one is one that I know I will have in my collection. I would say that I will have the Norvina mini palettes in my collection, but I don't know if they're going to come to Ulta because it's been quite a while since one of them did come to Ulta. Did the yellow one come to Ulta already? I kind of feel like I was trying to decide between the both of those. Okay, now I need to look this up. But if they don't come to Ulta, they probably won't be in my collection. If they do come to Ulta, I probably will be purchasing those. Okay, so only volume 1 is there now. So I don't know. My guess is that at this point, they probably aren't coming to Ulta, which would be super sad. The next palette that I still want in my collection is the Melt Cosmetics Vita palette. So in my video that I did in October, I had the Melt Cosmetics, I don't remember what it was, the neon one. I don't remember what that was called. That was still on my wish list. I have switched now to the Vita palette. Melt Cosmetics is a brand that I definitely want to try at some point, but have not. Oh, they're just so pricey. They're just so pricey. So I have not spent the money yet on it. At some point, I do want to try it. Melt Cosmetics is on my brands that I want to try in 2020. I don't know if I will or not, but the Vita palette is still on my wish list. It is so beautiful. I love those colors. I mean, to be honest, I love all colors, but this palette just looks really beautiful all together. And I kind of feel like if I have that one, that I probably need the Muerte palette because they just go, like, they just look so good together, pieced together like that. And it is really beautiful colors. The only thing with the Muerte palette is it is a little bit deeper than what I typically wear, but there are definitely some lighter colors in there too. And that turquoise is so pretty. But I think these palettes together would make such a beautiful 20 pan palette together. So that's one palette I still want. Can I do that? So that is 11. The video was called 12 older eyeshadow palettes I still want. So some of these aren't totally old, but they're old enough that for me to purchase it would be just because I really want it in my collection and not because it's something newer that I would review. So that was 11. The last one, number 12, is the ABH Sultry palette. This is a super odd palette for me because it is so neutral, but I personally use the ABH shadows for when I want to create neutral looks, and there is not a shadow in there that looks the same as any other shadow. So they are all very different. A lot of the times neutral palettes have got so many shadows that are the same tone, but this one, the shadows are also differently colored, and that coral and silver have like had my heart from the second it was released. The number of times I went into Ulta and swatched that coral and silver debating on getting the palette, and I never ended up picking it up, but it is still a palette that I would love to have in my collection and I would love to own, and I actually think I'd get some pretty good use out of it. There were probably just other palettes at the time that I wanted more, and I think I got the Norvina palette. Maybe it was the Riviera. I got one of these palettes when I was debating about getting the Sultry palette. It was probably the Norvina one was the one that I picked up, and I just had to choose which one I was going to use more. But this one is still on my list of palettes that I want. So that is 12 palettes that I still want to have in my collection. I would love to know if you guys have a list of palettes that you still want to own and what is on that list. If you end up doing this video, please do let me know so I can check it out. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Don't forget to subscribe and enter that giveaway before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!